Okay, so today we're going to do a quick conversation about dealing with the objection. I never did that. When you set insurance appointments over the phone, I've got an email I'm going to read from an agent of mine that sent it to me or somebody on my list. So I'm going to read that and we're going to teach you how to deal with that objection. So this came from, I don't know exactly who, but the person said, "Hi David, I was wondering if you'd be open to making a video on how to handle an objection I hear often, especially with older leads. If it matters, I'm working for Symmetry Financial selling mortgage protection. When I call them to proceed to open the conversation up, and I mentioned, however, we got their information. So they usually do like direct mail. They may do some other sources as well. Whether they submitted a request online or called a number or filled out a direct mail form, blah, 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 a large number of them will say something like, I never did that, or I don't remember doing that. I've had some success literally just telling them what they did in different words, saying something like, just to make sure I'm speaking to the right person, that's you, your full name and address, or calling back in a few weeks. But I was wondering how you handle this particular situation when it arises, as it seems even with exclusive leads I buy. So here's kind of how I would handle this. So first of all, first thing I would say is designate the difference or the outcome from fresh leads that you get as well as the older leads. You're going to hear this objection more with older leads than you are with fresh leads because why? They don't remember filling it out. It's been months and months and months. And a lot of these organizations that do mortgage protection resell these leads or sell them aged. So you're going to hear this objection very commonly. Now, sometimes what a good kind of rebut to this would be is basically mentioning some personal information about the client. So for example, if they say, well, I don't remember doing this, I would say something like, hey, that's okay. I see that you live at 123 Hereford Street in Hickson, Tennessee, right? And then they start saying yes. And then you say, okay, and I see that your full name is Sally Jones and that your spouse is David Jones, correct? Yeah. Perfect. Then you go ahead and then close the appointment, as we'll talk about here in a minute. So that starts what's called the yes train. You get to have them agree to a few things that we already know the answer to, like where they live and what their name is. Maybe even mention something like their age. And when they say yes a few times, it kind of validates in their own mind that maybe I did something and that guttural reaction I was hearing just isn't true or wasn't true, and we'll turn some of those around into appointments. Now, what would you say beyond just basically confirming some basic stuff about the client? Well, at this point, this is called answering the objection. We've answered it by saying a few things like, you live here and your name is this and your age is that, right? And we get the yes train going. At this point, we just need to sell the appointment and then close the appointment. So after I confirm, so I see that you live at 1 Main Street and your spouse is David and both of you are 70 years old, right? Yes. Now I sell the appointment and I'll say, great, all I need is 5 minutes for me to show you how these programs work. And Mrs. Jones, whatever you decide to do with this information is entirely up to you. And then I close the appointment and say, so why don't I swing by at 5 o'clock or to 7 tomorrow? Sound better? That is an assumptive close where I don't give the client the ability to answer no. I give them the ability to choose between a yes or a yes. And as a side note, guys, never give the option to the prospect to say no. So maybe the person who sent me this email, check out your script. What are you exactly saying in the script? Record yourself. If you happen to listen to this, send it to me. I'll be happy to critique it. It's likely that you might be missing out on some of the structure of the strategy, giving the client the ability to say no, either at some point earlier in the script or at the end in the close. And I'll wrap it all up by saying you got to have conviction when you say this stuff. Many times when we start to hear a rebuttal, we lose confidence, we get scared. You can hear it in our voice. We start to get muffled and scared and kind of get tense, right? And that comes out in our tonality. You have to double down. You almost have to stand up like you're even more excited, like I'm this close to the appointment, I'm going to get it. So you got to pick your energy level up and be that much more enthusiastic. Because what that translates to the prospect is that you're confident in what the client did. You're confident in your ability to help them. And they're going to be excited too in a weird sense because they don't rarely ever hear people who sound like that. And it's actually a turn on for a lot of people in the sense of, hey, this person sounds kind of intriguing. And it will win you more deals than if you get all Eeyore on them. And you're like, well, you did this. And I don't want to deal with a person sounds like that, right? Sounds fair to me. So that's how I would handle that. Again, use the script first. I would use that for aged leads or fresh leads. If you hear this so much and you're using aged leads, switch to fresh leads. You're likely going to get more success even if you hear it as often because it's more front and center in the mind as to what they did versus an aged lead. So I hope that helps you with your appointment setting techniques, setting those mortgage protection appointments. You can do this for any kind of product, guys. Final expense, mortgage protection, any kind of insurance product. It all works the same. This is fundamental appointment setting strategy I teach my agents. If you'd like to learn more about joining my agency to sell things like final expense Medicare or annuities, click the links above or below to learn more. My name is David Duford at DeFord Insurance Group. Thanks for watching. See ya.